John, do you mind doing me a favor if you could
Yeah.
just turn
Yeah.
your phone the other way so we could get that nice wide angle of you?
Oh, there we go. All right. You got to coach me along on this one.
There you go. There you go. You look 20 years younger, buddy.
You know, I look like the three banger I'm wearing too.
Good afternoon, everybody. What's going on, everybody? Jeff. No, that was, Mike and the Mad Dog. Remember them?
Oh, yeah, I do remember them.
Great show on the
I thought we were doing
WFAN.
We're doing a little Good Morning Vietnam all of a sudden, but that's fine. Yeah, that's good.
Well, it's close.
I'll take it.
I think they probably took it after him.
They stole it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I do it all the time.
Jeff, we got a huge, huge show today.
Massive.
I mean, I don't even know. We're going to be here a little over an hour today. I mean, we have so many guests. We have so many cool people to welcome onto our show today, to the Diamond Deals podcast. We're live on Facebook with all our fans out there watching. We got some in-studio guests today, and we're just going to have a good time, as always. But it was a big week.
Big week, yeah. So free agency, as we all know, and we've all been following the whole Shohei Ohtani, or as my son will call him, Shohei Otane. Yeah, so that guy signs a $700 million contract.
Yeah,
Man.
so that's a lot of money.
Yeah, but okay, so here, I have good things and bad things I'm going to say about it. Number one, he is, like I said to somebody the other day, he is what I would call these young kids' generations. He's the new Bobby Bonilla. Let's face facts. Bobby Bonilla is still getting paid.
That's right.
Okay, so he gets $2 million annually, so a year, from 2024 to 2033. Then after the contract is done with the Dodgers, he then gets paid from 2024 to 2043, and he'll get paid $68 million annually, broken down.
I lost you at hello.
Right?
No, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Good for him, dude.
I mean, look, show me the money. Show.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a look. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to his agent who did that and pulled that off. We talked about this. I met Dennis Gilbert during the winter meetings.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
14 years of being there, never had the guts to go up to him and say hello, but finally did it this year.
I wouldn't mind talking to him.
Oh, man. I actually talked to him yesterday, too. Called him out of the blue and just see how he was doing. And the man literally was driving into a car garage, said, I'm going to get cut off, but I'm going to call you back. Sure stuff. He called me back. Talked for another hour. We talked about our project. We talked about a bunch of stuff. But I bring him up because he's the one who did Bobby Bonilla's contract.
Yeah.
He's still getting paid on that.
Yeah.
He was laughing all the way to the parking garage yesterday.
And to the bank.
So is Bobby Bo.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So like for these kids that are young, like your kids, my kids, they don't understand Bobby Bonilla's deal. I mean, this guy has been out of baseball for 20 years?
Yeah.
And he still gets a paycheck every year around a certain time. Everybody knows it as Bobby Bonilla Day because that's the day that he brings in his money. Yeah, I mean, hats off to Ohtani, man. I mean, that's cool for him. Good for him. I really hope he understands that he's not going to see $700 million coming from California. So that's a fun time. You got tax and state tax and everything else. But he don't ever have to work again. He's 30 years old?
Well, he's got to work. He's got to honor the contract.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I mean, he's 30 years old? 30 years old?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I don't know how old he is.
Yeah,
but
I think he's 30.
He looks 30. But I'm just saying.
Either way.
He's good for baseball for what? 5 years? 6 years at best?
Nah, I wouldn't say that. Look at Ichiro.
That's true.
I mean, and I'm not saying he's the type of player Ichiro was. I'm just kind of putting that as an example because a lot of the Japanese players, they emphasize on strength and conditioning. They emphasize on a lot of calisthenics when you're over there. They emphasize on a lot of different things that keep them in shape and keep them playing longer. Have you ever known? I mean, look, think about it. Look at Hideki Matsui.
Yeah, good God. He was in the league for 100 years. I thought he still played.
I think he's still playing. I mean, Ichiro's still playing. Do you know that?
Yeah.
He still plays over there.
Yeah.
He goes over there and I think he's in a men's league or something
Just a
like.
different breed.
Look, they're incredible athletes over there, incredible athletes over here. Kudos to Shohei. It's a contract that sets everything apart from what we've seen over the past. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been some big contracts too. And who started it all? Can you name it?
Who started the big contract?
Who started those big contracts?
Well, I'm assuming I guess Bonilla would have started that one, but before that,
No,
it was after that.
yes,
Oh, it's after him.
Alex Rodriguez.
Oh, yes, I forgot about how.
I mean, that was
a
that's
huge
what
contract
started
for that
it.
time. Yeah,
Look, don't get me wrong, guys. We're getting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 year deals, but they weren't getting in the hundreds of millions.
yeah, it changed.
Alex
He changed the game.
Started that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was his contract 10 years?
10 years, 226, I think it was.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, it was unreal back then.
Yeah, now they're doing it now again. Well, they're still doing it, but yeah, hats off, dude. I mean, it's cool for him. And it obviously, I mean, honestly, man, it gives these kids today, gives you hope that, hey, listen, if you get to the major leagues and you are that good, this could happen to you. The only thing that I hate because I know you're not allowed to say anything. I am, because I'm just Jeff, but
Well,
I'm a
you're
Braves
important,
fan.
Jeff.
I'm
You're
a Braves fan, as we all know. Anybody that knows me, I am. And
Really?
I know that now with this contract happening, I know it's going to happen to the Braves eventually with Ronald Acuna. It's going to happen. Like, they're going to have to want to pay this dude $500-600 million if he stays on the same track.
He's
But-
got to put up some video game numbers for him to get that kind of money, though.
Oh yeah, he's pretty quiet with
See,
it. So.
when Shohei came over, the anticipation was for this type of contract. Now, I'm not saying it was for $700 million, but it was for that long-term deal.
Lock him up.
Lock him up and see what happens. With an Acuna or a guy of his caliber, I'm not sure he's going to get something like that.
Yeah, I hope.
But he may break the annual average annual value. He may do it. We'll see. Look, the contracts are, in my opinion, they're getting out of control a little bit.
Mhm.
And I know I'm saying that as an agent, and clients of mine are probably saying, I want that contract.
Yeah.
One of them will be here today. But at the same time, I think that you got to shoot for two big things. What is one thing that you always dream of, not only just to get drafted and play in the major leagues? What's the other thing you dream of when you get there?
When I get there,
If you're a good player, what do you dream of?
World Series, All Stars.
I want the ring.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if I want the ring, I want the team that's going to get me that ring, and I want the payday. What do you want more?
Me, when I was in my mid-20s, I would say I want the payday. Me now that I'm older, or I'm sorry, I want the ring. Me now that I'm older, I want the payday.
Okay.
Just because I
You're
know
thinking
when
of your
I'm
family.
done, I have money.
You're
You know what I
thinking
mean?
of your family. You're thinking of the things that go on with that.
Yeah.
And that's me at an older age. I'm thinking about the ring,
Mhm.
because your legacy carries on with you with the ring.
Yeah, I can see that.
When you have the money, sorry, nobody gives a crap.
Yeah, money's money.
Nobody cares about you as an individual. They're not going to talk to you about, hey, Shohei Ohtani or Jeff Aubrey or Jeff Allen or Mike Trout. They're not going to talk about them unless they have a World Series. Same thing happened to Dan Marino.
I was just going to say it's the Dan Marino, mentality.
And we'll get a perspective like that in a few minutes when we bring on our guest who's live in the studio today.
Mhm.
Again, we talked about a great show. We got a good friend of mine, former scout with the New York Mets. He actually drafted Pete Alonso, and now is in the analytic world. And we've talked a little bit about analytics over the last couple of shows. This is show number 3, and we have definitely dove into a couple of different things when it comes to analytics and how it's played a role in the game. So we're going to get two perspectives from that, Jeff, today. We're going to get John's perspective from it.
Yep.
Now that he's doing it, he's involved in it. He's heading up a division on it. He left scouting for it.
Interesting.
And then we're also going to get a player's perspective from it. What he hears when he gets back into the clubhouse, how they actually operate him and utilize him from his analytics standpoint.
Yeah, it'd be fun to hear this.
I mean, come on, man. What other show's doing this?
None.
I don't see anybody doing it.
No, none.
I don't. Look, and it's fun for us because it's fun for me. I enjoy what we're doing. I enjoy what I do for a living, and I enjoy talking about it with our listeners and everybody that is watching us on Facebook Live. If you haven't started tuning in on us on Facebook Live, we go live every single Thursday from 5 to 6. Today we might go a little bit over. Mike's probably going to kill us, but we're going to go over anyways.
He'll be fine.
He'll be all right. We're going to bring you this type of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, last week we had Savannah Bananas.
He was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Coach was awesome.
I got a little secret that I'm going to tell a little bit later. We're going to announce on this show.
So it's not going to be a secret anymore.
I'll tell you later.
Sweet.
Yeah, I've been holding all day.
All right.
But I do think we have our first guest. He's ready to come on. So I'm going to introduce this guy because I'm going to tell you right now, one of my favorite people that I met when I first became an agent out in the field. He busts my chops a lot during the draft day. We used to call him, Johnny Be Good on the third day, because Johnny would be good on the third day. He'd get a bunch of dudes that sometimes people just overlooked, or he hunted out and kind of went into his little, honey hole, if you will, and grabbed these dudes that all of a sudden were like, man, this guy, I mean, again, he drafted Polar Pete. He drafted Matt Allen, catcher. He's been a great influence on me as an agent. And now what he's doing in the analytic world, it's been interesting to watch that evolve and him to kind of explain a lot of what goes on behind the scenes when it comes to that. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Jeff and I are pleased to welcome Mr. John Updike. John, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, thank you. In the true scouting sense, I was rushing 2 hours to get to the house, do this in my office, and hit traffic. So what do? You pitch a tent and let's get after it.
It's funny because last week our guest actually did the exact same thing. He pulled over to the side of the road and started doing the interview. But no, John, you look great. Thanks for joining us today. And we appreciate your time and joining us on the show. So, John, give us a little bit of perspective, what it was like. First of all, you played as a player, and then you coached, and then getting into scouting. What was it like kind of making that transition and from playing your playing days into coaching, and then all of a sudden getting with the New York Mets as a scout?
Well, the transition from being a player wasn't too hard. I remember in spring training, Grady Fuson calling me into a room, and I thought I was like going to make a club, and instead he handed me a fungo bat and a book and said, "Hey, this is gonna help you later in life." Now, really, and I was very fortunate with the New York Mets and the opportunities that they gave me for a good long time. From a scouting perspective, really what it's about is learning an area and learning players. And really the job of a scout is to be an expert on the player, from a national perspective, and some of the famous players, like everybody gets to see, but still at the end of the day, you need to know this player. Just not only like tools are, to me, easy, how the guy runs, how the guy throws, put him in a category. That's the easy part of it. The tough part is understanding what this guy's made of. Is this guy going to show up every day? Could this guy perform? Like, there's a difference, not knocking smaller market teams, but there's a big difference between playing in a small town in the Midwest and playing in Queens every night. And there's a lot of factors that come into play that I think, to me, that's where I found the joy in it, was these guys that everybody in the big leagues overachieves, even the superstars. Who are the guys that have it in them to overachieve?
No, absolutely. John, do you mind doing me a favor if you could just turn your phone the other way so we could get that nice wide angle of you?
Oh, there we go. All right. You got to coach me along on this one.
There you go. You look 20 years younger, buddy.
I look like the three banger I'm wearing too.
John, so I understand that you, like you said, you got into the scouting world, and I know I'm kind of leading into probably another question we're going to ask you in a few minutes, but for most fans that are baseball fans that don't know much about scouting, let's face facts, the world kind of got opened to how scouting changed with the movie Moneyball when they brought analytics into that. Did that help the game in your eyes as a scout, or did it kind of hurt it, or in the same breath, like Phil and I talked about a couple of shows ago, it kind of made it leveled off? Like you get a little more out of it now.
Well, and I think and I'll give you, I talk about this one all the time. It used to be you had an area look and you had a national look. So two guys, if they could agree on the player, then you could acquire the player. What Moneyball did, and it was a great system, you think of three parts of the pie. You have your area look, you have a national look, and then you have statistical analytics. So if I like the player and the numbers like the player and a national guy didn't like him, doesn't matter. Acquire the player. If you got 2/3 of the pie, incredible, beautiful system. What we've seen here in really the past 4 to 5 years is an even deeper transition, which is a quarter of its area, a quarter of its national, half of a player's traditional scouting. And now the other half of the player is statistical analytics. And then that next caveat is metrics. So you've got much more factors. That's why you see, even with the changes in the draft in the past few years, reduction of rounds, such a heavy lean on Power 5, SEC, ACC, Big 10, Big 12 players. There's more information on them. There's more video, so you can make a better educated decision. Now it's and one of the reasons why I am in what I'm in right now is we've got to get more depth of information on players, just not at the top levels, but at the bottom levels. Because if I don't have that metric, if I don't have the metrics on a player, he's 75% of a player on a board. So
yeah.
that was the biggest change. I think, to me, it's better for making decisions and spending money. In the end, the thing that's difficult with reduction of rounds and the way that it's done today, guys like myself, there was a 28th round draft pick. I never played the game. And if I never played the game, I would have never coached, and I never would have scouted and never continued to be part of this game. And there's a ton of guys that are like that. I think that when you reduce the rounds and you reduce opportunity, and that's the key word, it's opportunity. You take away a lot of people from the game and potential fans from the game.
Yeah.
That's a very valid point. When I first started, I started was 40 rounds, and now it's down to 20. So it does. It lessens the opportunities out there for players, and it lessens the looks that you have to go out in there and take, because there's only so many guys you could draft. Now, talk to us a little bit about that, because now I'm gonna school you, because you're now on my show, and I get to say, what was it like when I used to call you and I used to say, John, come on, are you taking my guy? Let's go. And you used to say to me, he's in a good spot.
John, please, let me hear this.
John, his famous words to me, Jeff, were, Philly's in a great spot. And I used to say, what the hell does that mean? What spot? Where is he at? And so tell me what that looked like, and tell me what it was like. And you're sitting in there, and you got Omar Minaya, and you got, all the guys that are in there and talking to you, and you're watching the draft board. And it was always done in St. Lucie since they've had it. So tell us a little about it.
Yeah, that helped me out having it in St. Lucie. Now, really, the process of a board being built, you've got a really good idea on who the top 100 players in the country are. And really what you're trying to do is figure out how those are going to fall, and every team has their own strategies on how they want to approach the draft. And then you try to be I call them spoon benders. You're trying to figure out, all right, they're going to take this guy and it's going to move. There's a lot of communication behind the scenes, trying to figure some things out. Where it really gets fun are those we're going through thousands of players, man.
Yeah.
And we talk on them. I was fortunate to be with an organization that allowed everybody to be part of the process. And when you get to, especially like when it was in 40 round drafts, you're talking about tons of players up there. And really what you're doing is you're fighting to put a guy in the right spot. You may really like a player and he may have limited tools. He's just a little engine that could. Well, you don't want to jam that guy up in like a single digit round, because it doesn't do anything good for the organization or for the player. It's kind of figuring out that sweet spot where that player fits at the right time. And what you'll see is through the history of the draft, certain types of players go in certain types of spots. And that's really a kind of like the game of the draft in the draft room as a scout, is how can you massage and you know, I don't want to say manipulate, but I manipulate.
You could say
you
it.
know, yeah, I didn't bully, but I manipulated. But you do everything that you can to get your guys seen, because to me, my belief was the best players in the country come from the state of Florida. If I could have an entire draft of guys from the state of Florida, I would have. All right. It might not have. That was my own personal beliefs. All right. And you fight for it. And you know where you can and where you can give and where you can't give. And what it is once again, it's that opportunity. The game isn't to who's going to get the most guys taken. That's not it.
Right.
Who's going to give the opportunity, the organization, the most opportunities to hit on it. So I'll give you an example. So like guys that are taken in like the first 2-3 rounds of the draft, there's an expectation. Those guys need to make their debuts. Those guys need to be ranked prospects. There needs to be something that comes from them. As you get later in a draft, maybe like I said, like into the teens, there's limited expectations. So if you have just the possibility of maybe producing a ranked prospect or a piece that's traded for a major league talent, that's a win. And then as you get deeper into the draft, back, like I said, in the 40-round drafts, guys that went in like the 25th, 30th round, if one of those guys was used in a trade piece, there was just as much joy as if he got to the big leagues, because you hit on something that's a very low percentage. And that's something I took a lot of pride in, you know. I think when you're building that board, though, and like I said, finding that spot, what I've learned over the years was that if you put the guy in the right spot, you give the guy a chance. And every kid's expectation is every guy taken in the draft is angry, except for the first guy taken, because everybody thinks they should have been the very first pick of the draft. And it's understanding that as well, you know?
Yeah. Well, he didn't answer my question. How many times did you hit hang up when Phil Toronto, Philly T, came across the board?
No, you know what? You were great to work with. And the reason is that, like I said, you had players that were appealing. You picked the right guys, which is a huge part of this. And it's, hey, they fit in that spot. And then sometimes you run out of runway, man. It's like, okay, hey, I've got like this JC left-hander that I really like. I've done a lot of work.
I know what you're talking about.
I got a lot of work done on this cat, you know, and and it just, hey, okay, we took a left-hander out of a D2 from Northern California. Okay, we're not going to take that guy, or we've taken our too many projection guys, or we've hit our limit on that. And then it's just, you're kind of hanging around waiting. Okay, you still have them up there, and usually you'll have 3 or 4 names for each spot, right? Because you got to prepare. If the guy gets taken right in front of you, God knows I've had my pocket picked enough in my life where, hey, all right, they're going to take my guy. We're 2 away. We're 3 away. And, the Blue Jays select Billy Joe Bob Bailey. And then they go to the second name down the list,
Right.
Yep.
So it's part art, part science, part, WWE.
Talk to us a little bit, and this is going to be my last question. I'll let Jeff handle the rest of it, but talk to us a little bit. I got to see you first time I've seen you in a while too. Was at the winter meetings this year. Ran into you and a couple of the guys from your new venture now, which is obviously we were talking about analytics with the Baseball Cloud and Yacker Tech. And I knew this, and I've seen him a bunch of times, and of course I know him as a player, but I didn't realize Johnny Gomes was so heavily involved now. And he was with you, and I got to chill with him, and we had dinner together that night. And Johnny punched me about 30 times in the kidneys, and he's an ex-Marine boy too, wasn't he? Yeah, he's a strong boy. But it was a great night. I got to learn a lot. But talk to us a little bit about Baseball Cloud and how that's evolving for you now.
Yeah, like really on that end of it, and I'd been involved for years, even while I was scouting in the development of the products. At the end of the day, major league teams have the money to go out and build infrastructure. It's great to have data. What do you do with it when you get it? You've got to find a way to be able to digest it, to be able to leverage it. And then, like, my goal has been, how do we create a better relationship between the player, the coach, and the data?
Right.
All right. Believe me, there's some incredible guys from Ivy League schools, great mathematicians. It's difficult sometimes for them to communicate to a guy that maybe just had a high school education, physics. All right. we got to find a better way to do this. And the mistakes we made at the professional level, that's kind of been like what drove it, over the years, is how can we make this a smoother transition for an adaption of data at the amateur level? Because if you do it wrong, it'll be a complete and total mess. So finding ways to have clean data and collection and distribution, but then also working with the schools and teaching them, because they don't have, you're limited on your staffs. You don't have 25 analytic guys to do stuff for you. There are some college programs in this country, I will tell you, that they operate on the same level as some major league clubs. And that's not a slight. Wow. Like they do an incredible job. But the idea is that the information's so powerful, and really at the end of the day, it's at the big league level, you're trying to optimize, right? There's 3 levels of working with a guy. There's development, then you've got improvement, and then you've got optimization. Information is used for optimization at the highest level, right? Big leagues. Improvement happens really in the minor leagues and maybe a little bit in college. For the most part, everything else is development. And that's even through like Division I. Guys are still just learning how to do stuff. And what you get out of it is it's a way to bridge it and in some ways be able to accelerate it. And I think that, the answer at the end of the day can't always be bigger, stronger, faster, because it's not possible. There are guys that are 80 bodies with 80 physical talent that have 30 playing ability. And then there's guys with limited ability that play in the big leagues a long time. What are the ways that you can help both of those guys optimize and improve what they bring to the table? And I'll be the first one to tell you, you need one tool to play in the big leagues. That's it. You don't have to be a 5-tool player, but you need to be able to leverage that one tool better than anyone else in the world.
What's that tool?
Well,
power. Come on, John, I got my pen down. I got kids here.
Oh, we got kids in the audience today.
I'm trying to get some major league money.
Power's rare. Real power is rare.
Yep.
Real right-handed power is rare. All right. Yep. When you've got right-handed power, covet it. And I don't care about swing and miss. You covet it. And then obviously velocity drives the bus when it comes to pitching. It doesn't get people out, but it'll put you in a uniform many times over. I know that one because that's the only reason why I got a uniform in the first place.
So, John, I coach. Obviously, I coach like 10, 11, and 12-year-old kids. So a little bit different than what what you were doing there. But I try to okay. So, for example, and I'm going to try to make this short, not about my accomplishment that just happened, but I did go 16-0 and win my championship.
Here we go.
Right? That's all I'm going to say.
Winning is winning.
But thank you very much.
That's right.
But it's the way Phil brought it up to me on the first show was you brought old school coaching back to East Boynton and how I coached. That's how I was coached back in the, you're going to the late 80s, early 90s. You had coaches yelling at your face. You had coaches explaining things to you a little different than a pat on the back. It was, you had to go out and do the work. So when you say power and everything else, which is fine, because I know these kids are, again, they're 10, 11 years old. They're going to have some power, but let's face facts. I watched wooden bat tournaments over the weekend, and it was amazing to see how much they couldn't hit a ball that far with a wood bat, but with an aluminum bat, they're putting it into the parking lot. So
yes,
I kind of laughed at that. But when you said velocity for pitching, like, for example, I have a 10-year-old that lives at my house, which is my kid, and he wants to throw 100 miles an hour. And I told him, look, dude, Greg Maddux never threw over 89 miles an hour his entire freaking career, and he's in the Hall of Fame. And the main reason why is because he knew how to place a ball and throw it properly. He set himself on a nice long journey of a career, and he was one of the best in the game. You want to watch somebody throw easy that way? Watch him. You want to watch somebody else? Watch Nolan Ryan. But he wants to watch again, like we talked about earlier, was Ohtani, and I'm like, that dude's thrown his arm out twice in the last 5 years. I don't want you to throw that way. I want you to throw the right way. So am I wrong by saying that to these kids, or do I need to just kind of word it different maybe?
No, it's everything relative. So once again, the velocity is a key to a uniform. Okay. Mm-hmm. I fight it because I try to draft the guys. Guys with there are guys in the big leagues with below average stuff that execute on a very high level, but that's a small percentage of them. So when you say like the market itself, the market covets velocity. Then it's what you do with it. And that's what separates, like, what are we hunting in drafts? We're hunting starters. How many real starters do you acquire in an entire draft that have 3 years in the big leagues? 2?
Yeah, exactly.
So an entire draft, it's incredibly rare. To me, and I think that's incredibly important with youth players for them to understand their identity. All right. So like as they're building, there's all these things that come together. So the ability to throw strikes, the ability to have a breaking ball to defend themselves, the ability to be smart about pitching. How do you Zach Greinke said it better than anybody. The guy that throws the most innings with the least amount of pitches gets paid the most money.
Yep.
All right.
True.
That's a great approach to it.
Yeah.
But along with it, do understand that unless you're having 100-mile-an-hour exit, unless you're a catcher, shortstop, or a cute center fielder, if you play a corner and you're a bat and you can't produce 100-mile-an-hour exit velocity your senior year of high school, you will not play in the SEC. You just won't. You won't play your freshman year, and if you don't play your freshman year, you probably won't play your sophomore year. All right.
True.
And the same thing from a velocity standpoint. If you're not touching 90 miles an hour by the time you're in your senior year, it's pretty difficult to get an opportunity to pitch at the Division I level, especially with today's environment. Now, the one thing that we do know, we can develop velocity. Can't develop 100. I know. I've got a son that pitches in Division I baseball that is exactly that. My son is.
Can I represent him?
Yeah. My son's not a blazer.
I know. I happen to know an agent.
I know an agent.
Yeah.
Can I represent him?
but he knows his identity. He throws a lot of breaking balls, gets a lot of swing and miss. And what does he work on? What's the thing? Trying to up the velocity. He knows he's never going to throw 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But 92 to 94 is attainable. That's hard work. That's lifting, nutrition, sleep, and having a good throwing program and working on your delivery. We've proven that we can do that. Believe me, it's the sum of the parts, but the main drivers, the engine at the end of the day for right now in the foreseeable future are that. Now, overall, athletes, give me an 80 athlete, give me the best athlete you can possibly get. Those guys. But once again, like the idea of what an athlete is. So like an 80 athlete, a Bo Jackson type or a Deion Sanders type, you could walk around the SEC or ACC and scout all those guys and just go to one football practice, across the street.
Yeah.
And there'll be guys sitting on the bench that are better athletes than anybody on any of those fields.
Wow.
So the understanding of what an athlete truly is, that's the thing. Like when you have a special athlete, that's the only thing that could supersede it.
That's why you called it the honey hole, right?
The honey hole. I tried. Right. Listen, I've tried. I walked in. I broke into a football practice at a SEC school one time, and I broke in, bullied my way in there. I wanted to see their third string quarterback because I watched him when he was 15-year-old pitch. He hadn't pitched since then, and I figured, you know what? Hey, I bet you, same thing. He's 6'6", 250 pounds, and
hit the profile.
Maybe he still has feel for this. Take a guy like that in the 28th round and throw it against the wall, see if it sticks, because he's sure ain't going to be in the NFL.
That's right. Well, John, I can't thank you enough. It's I wish we had more time with you today. Yeah. We got to bring on a few more guests, but anytime you want to come back on this show, buddy, you're more than welcome. And congratulations on all your success and everything you've done. I know you were one of my favorite guys to deal with in the draft room, even though he hung up the phone on me most of the time.
I tried my butt off.
No, seriously, John's been a good friend of mine. I can't thank him enough for all the advice he's given me over the years and kind of little tits for tats and tidbits to look for and stuff like that. So thank you very much, John. Drive safe. It looks like it's getting dark where you're at. It's a little bright here. We got a nice stadium sunset here, but
the sun's setting on me. So let me know anytime, guys. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
No, thanks again, John. Best of luck with everything.
Appreciate it.
All right.
That was awesome.
Go. John Updike.
John Updike, everybody. Thank you very much, John. Now you hear what it's like in the draft room, how analytics play into it, the things he looks for, the mechanics. He even talked about at 80. I don't know if everybody knows. Scouts grade players on a 20 to 80 scale.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 20 being obviously the least
Mm-hmm.
best player, all the way up to 80. Very few people hit an 80.
Yeah.
Okay, you're special. You're Ohtani special. You're
Okay.
Trout special. You're
Yeah.
Harper. Guys, I just mentioned our next guest is going to be talking about because he plays with them.
Yeah.
It was, we do everything for a reason around here. The guy we're bringing in today is around some of these guys that we're talking about. And so we're going to welcome to the show our next guest. He's a member of my family. He's been a member of my family for a while. I've had the pleasure of representing this young man as he's been coming up the rankings. He's probably the fastest player I've ever seen in my entire life. And I can't thank him enough for being a part of my family, allowing me to ride this journey with him as his agent, being good to my kids, just being a member of my family. So we're going to welcome on to the show. He's live in studio too.
Live in studio.
Live in studio, Mr. Deshaun Knowles of the LA Angels. Everybody, a round of applause. What's up?
What are you doing?
So now all that stuff you just heard, first of all, did you have your paper out? You were taking notes?
No, it was not.
No, I was not.
Memory, though.
You do. You got a good memory. So tell us what it's like. Tell the fans and everybody watching what it's like to be in that clubhouse. Tell them where you're from. Tell them how you got to where you are today and all the hard work you've put in. These kids that are listening to us, we're going to bring on a group of kids that play in the Florida East Coast Travel League, which you've been around a little bit too, since we've launched our inaugural season. Just kind of give everybody the lay of the land. We heard it from a scout's perspective, but now we want to hear from you.
Well, I've actually been in clubhouses with Ohtani and Mike Trout. So they just like people. They just like us. So ain't
It's
nothing.
actually like you.
Yeah, ain't nothing really different. But
They put their pants on the same way.
yeah, but I would say the main thing, what separates them, because they superstars. But the main thing, what separate a minor leaguer from a major league is consistency. That's really all
Makes
it is.
sense.
Because everybody has the same talent. Like I signed my contract because I know y'all was talking about the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't had no draft. I signed a paper and it was like, yeah, like you on board now. But I from the Bahamas, which is considered an international
Mm-hmm.
side of the baseball world. So I signed my contract and I was at the age of 16. I was 16 years old. I signed my contract.
16.
Yeah, so I had to leave, go to a whole different country from where I used. So I had to adjust. I had to learn a new
You
language.
got to grow up.
Yeah, I had to exactly.
Tell them where you
And
went
then,
to first.
I went to the Dominican Republic.
All right.
Yeah, I had to learn Spanish. I also have a twin brother too. So me being from him was kind of like,
Different.
yeah, that was my second half.
Yeah.
So not just missing my family, but like missing like some parts of school. I had to sacrifice. Couldn't go to my prom. You know what I mean? I couldn't have a girlfriend for real.
Now he's got 100 of them.
Nah,
Wow.
nah, I don't. I don't.
Not anymore that you just broadcasted that. Anyway. So, all right. So then let me ask you this. So like with kids that watch, like Phil said, we're going to have some kids come on here in a little while. Did you have a favorite player growing up? Number one, is it the same player now to this day, or has that changed since being in the league?
Ah,
No,
that's a great
I
question.
did. I always had a favorite player. Mike Trout, he was always my favorite player. And that's surprisingly because I got drafted. I mean, signed to the same team as him. So,
Yeah.
But he was always my favorite player.
Did you scream like a little schoolgirl when you got signed by them? You're like, oh my God, Mike Trout! I can't see him. Does that happen?
So I actually,
I would have. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I actually was I was actually going to sign with a different team, with the Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
But the Angels just offered a little bit more money.
Fair. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. Did
That's
we
it.
say that earlier?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to take what
You're
you
young.
got to take what you
Money,
get.
do.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So you got a favorite player. Who's your favorite agent?
But I got one. So,
Good
I got
answer.
one.
Very good answer. Write that down. He's on his Christmas card list.
Now, did I read? I think I read that some. Did you play in the World Baseball
I
Classic?
did.
You did.
I did.
All right.
Did.
Yes,
So
I did.
how was
I
that?
did.
Uh-oh.
Boy, it was.
Wait, we gotta, Mike. You gotta scroll that one up. I want that. The best one is him sipping the tea. We gotta do the sipping the tea right there.
Oh,
This went viral, and I mean, I was there watching it. It was awesome. I got a chance to. A couple of my players are playing in it. My guy's in there. He comes off the bench, hits this ball down the line, legs out the triple, and goes like this. Whoop, and that was it. Viral all over the place. Talk about that.
Man, so from the qualifiers, they had told me that they had interest in me going to the qualifiers in Germany. Now I've never been to Germany.
Yeah.
I've never been on that side of the world. So I was like let's do it. Like I've always seen Jazz and Chavez Young and Brooklyn when they played Antoine and Albert Cartwright. They played in Brooklyn. I always and as a Bohemian from the Bahamas, we never really played with each other. So I felt honored to play on that team, even though it was like a bunch of British people. But knowing that some of my Bohemian brothers would be on the team too
makes it a little more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went to Germany and we tore it up. Like we went 3-0. The last game we played against Spain, and we had to come back from it was 3-7, like in the 7th inning, came back. I hit a home run. I hit a home run to lead us down by 1, like have us down by 1.
Look at the screen.
So we actually were supposed to go to Tokyo. I think we were supposed to go to Tokyo.
Yeah.
But I went at the camera and I was telling them, we want Team USA. We want Team USA. Give us Team USA. And so be it, we got Team USA, and sure enough, we got them first game. And I remember that night, the night before, we was about to play them, and I saw I wasn't in the lineup, so I was kind of devastated. I'm being training my whole life for this. You know what I mean? But Phil talked to me, and my brothers talked to me, my family talked to me. So I said, you know what? I ain't worrying about it. When my time come, I'm gonna be ready. And then we got into the game. We Trace Thompson, he hit a home run, and we was hyped. And this is the first time I ever been in this atmosphere, 45,000 fans or plus. I don't even know how much it was in there.
A lot.
I couldn't even hear myself think in that atmosphere. But I was
electric.
But that person I am, I always knew I supposed to be there. I wasn't scared. I didn't have no butterflies. I interacted with the fans on the sideline. I treated that as another minor league game.
Yeah.
And I went in there the 7th inning. I faced Kyle Freeland. I can never forget this. Faced Kyle Freeland. And I was down 0-2 quick. Wow. And I was like, damn.
Oh, yeah.
National television. But you know me, I had to I went down, I was like, okay, just, breathe. You know what I mean? I've been in this situation before.
Yeah.
Just seeing nothing. And I just canceled out everything. Canceled out all the fans. And he threw, I said, anything close. I ain't taking nothing close, anything close. I just trying to put it in play, try to put the ball in play. Cause he said earlier, I'm fast. I could beat it out. And he just threw a little slider. It was just a little bit off the plate, but I got enough barrel to it.
Yeah.
And I hit it. And I don't know where Moki was playing, but he was kind of in the gap.
He was
all kind of faded to the fading it. One hop to the bullpen, our bullpen. And I was just running, and all I was thinking about was I going 3. I going 3. And
the world's watching now.
Yeah. Or after all of this, someone came to me after everything, after the whole World Baseball Classic or whatever. They told me this, you probably one of the few people that ever went to 3 on Moki. And I was like, damn, that's true.
Yeah.
But the guys in the bullpen, some of the Bohemian guys like Tanaj and Chavez, they had said when he got the ball and threw it in, he was like, damn, that guy's fast. Yeah. I was running. I wouldn't say I was running on clouds, but I was just trying to get, I was just trying to get the 3. I didn't want to get out. And we was already down, came into the game, got a big hit. As soon as I slide in, we as a team, we came up with this celebration. But I told them we need to have a good celebration, because the Italians, they had their little celebration in Japan, salt shaking and stuff like that. So I tell them, when you think about Great Britain, you got to think about the tea, the queen, the tea time, and you got to hold the pinky up. So, and I think it was only Trace that only had an extra base hit before I came in the game. So when I hit my extra base hit, I made sure that the world, Great Britain, we had our celebration, our tea time.
I like that.
The world knew exactly who you were, not because of the tea.
Yeah.
It helped, but how fast you got around those bases. And you just said something that's really, really interesting. And I know you've been such a good influence on not only my kids, but all the kids that have come up to you and talked to you, and as you have risen up through the rankings and the minor leagues. But one thing you just said to me that resonated is, you know, your family talked to you and you realized you weren't in the lineup, but you didn't put your head down. You said, when my number's called, I'm going to do a job. And that's a huge lesson for everybody that's listening, whether it's kids or parents or whatever, you know, future prospects is, you know, I was always taught, Jeff was always taught that, you know, if you're not in the lineup, when your number's called, you got to do a job. And that's it. That was
ready.
Be ready.
Yeah,
Be ready.
I was always ready when my number was called. And I'm not saying I was successful every single time, but I was always ready. And I was looking forward to my number being called. Why? Because at that point, the manager was going to be forced to put me in the lineup the next time.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, kudos to you for having that kind of attitude and having that kind of an agent that talked to you the night before. And that guy's a smart guy.
He's all right.
All right, somewhat.
I'm not trying to blow myself up or anything, but no, just, you know, and talk to us a little bit about the analytics part. That's what I want to hear, how the Los Angeles Angels prepares you for your off season and knowing some of the things that you have accomplished with, you know, exit velo and launch angle and all the things and, you know, speed and all the things that you bring, the tools that you bring to the table when you get up to bat or when you play the field and how you cover ground and everything. So explain that to us.
Well, I'm not me personally. I'm not really an analytic guy. I just go out there and play my game, do what I gotta do. Because, you know, on the island, we ain't got no analytics and all that, all that stuff. So
Yeah,
I just go out there, play my game. But in terms of like preparing for the game and off season and stuff like that, like before the game, we never go in there blindsided.
Right.
They would always have the starting pitcher, what pitches he throw, what's the shape of the pitch, what this pitch is gonna do, what's his tendencies and discount,
right?
How long does he hold before he picks off and all these stuff. So we don't go in there blindsided. They give us this information. And in terms of the off season, I mean, I kind of work on myself. I have a coach down there who actually got me my contract, Jerron Sands. He helps me in the off season. Like I say, we're not really analytic down there. I mean, we'll bring out the rap soda once or twice, but
Right.
everything is just you got to play the game. Like, it's still a game at the end of the day. You know what I mean? You still got to get 3 outs.
Yep.
You know what I mean? 27 outs. You know what I mean?
So we're like we said, we're on Facebook Live, as everybody knows. So you know,
I hope they know.
if we get questions, we get questions. So I actually have a question for Mark on here. Wants to know, so how did you actually feel about the Ohtani departure?
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna lie, I feel a little hurt. Not hurt, but I'm gonna miss him because so it was one spring I went to big league camp. I think I was like 17 or 18. And I was in the locker room with all of them. And they were asking me how old I am and all that. So I was like, I'm like 18, my birthday, January 16, 2001. And I think Pools is like, bro, 2001, that's my rookie year. And I was like, and they was just, you know, like they was treat me like their little brother.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, Ohtani, like, he's a really great player. And he's even a better person.
Yeah.
Like,
He seems like that from what I've seen on
like
TV.
even though he got a big contract, he would not act any different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember one time we was at the Mariners. We was playing the Mariners. And I was like, every game, because this is a big league game. Every game I want to learn. I want to, you know what I mean? I want to be like these guys. So I watching the games, and, you know, I paying attention, asking questions. And he was DHing, and he was down below, and he had some sunflower seeds, and he was like flicking them at me, at my jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So he flicked it once or twice, and I turned around, like, I thinking the fans dropping like food on me. So I turned around, and, you know, it was only him in the back, and he was just there. He's acting normal, and, you know, I ain't gonna think it's him because, you know, he don't know English.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, he ain't messing with me. He ain't bothering. So he flicked again, and I'm like, well, what is that? And I see, like, I look at him, and he put on like that little innocent child.
Innocent.
You know what I mean? So I was like, okay. I said, I feel like this him. So I can catch him. I can turn around, Like when I can let him flick some more and I can turn around and catch him. So I wait like 3 seconds. Like he flick and flick. I wait like 3 seconds and I like just spin around quick. And I met him like this, and he look up and he's like, "Oh, you got me." I was like, "Oh yeah," but he down to earth though. He cool. I think I was talking to him. I had Ipe there. He was translating. We was just exchanging like our favorite foods and stuff like that. Like his favorite show is Dragon Ball Z.
Really?
Yeah, he likes Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, but he was teaching me some words in Japanese, and then
Which one did you learn?
Cha-ching.
no. No.
Cha-ching.
What did I learn? I learned the Sean song.
That's easy.
Yeah, it is. But that's what he was teaching me.
Did he
Like
say
Greek-
Harimas?
No.
No Harimas?
No.
I learned that.
Yeah,
I know I learned that.
He taught me a few things, but I kind of again when I remember it, I'll let y'all know. But yeah, he taught me a few things. But he cool. He down to earth.
Yeah,
fun guy to be in the clubhouse with.
How we looking in the green room? We I think we have our
Rick, I think everybody's in.
Yeah, we are. All right, great. Well, we're gonna leave Deshaun on set, and we're also gonna call. It's a kid show.
Yeah.
Also, we're kids at heart.
Deshaun
Deshaun's definitely a kid at heart. He plays more video games than I think my own kid is do. But we're gonna bring my kids over. They're here on set too. We're gonna bring Dominic and Dylan over here to join us for this last part of the show. These are my boys, and these are Dylan tried to imitate when he hit it. Now he doesn't run as fast as you. He knows that. Dominic does, but he doesn't run it. Go on Jeff's side, and I'll bring you up here. So Dominic and Dylan imitate just about everything that Deshaun does. In fact, they listen to reggae music, they listen to all that stuff. But one time Dylan hit a triple and literally did the T thing. So like that's. But see, look how they smile when they're around him. And again, I've emphasized this since I started my career was I want these guys to be a part of my family because my family means as much to me. And then they watch me be with them all the time. That the relationship is like he's their big brother. You know what I mean? And that's the cool part about what I do. I get these guys and they're part of my family next. So, but I say all that because now we're going to bring in another part of our family.
Yeah, is
our Florida East Coast Travel League part of the family. And we were in the middle of playoffs. We're kind of still in the middle of playoffs. The weather's kind of uncooperative.
Helping,
but no, it's not. But we are proud to bring on the North and the South Division champions and the league champions. First, Florida Prodigy, 8U, and the Elite Squad, who both won their titles as their division champs, and then the Elite Squad and them battled it out the other night. Welcome the Florida Prodigy and the Elite Squad. Hey, what's going on, boys? That's awesome. This is Jeff. This is what it's all about, bro.
100%.
They are all together at houses, probably at their coaches' houses or wherever they're at. And first off, guys, congratulations to both the teams. All the stuff that you guys were able to accomplish, and then having to battle it out, the North versus the South, and the great games that took place down south in Pembroke Pines. And you guys, I'm just proud of all of you because you stuck with it. We had a long schedule, and you guys you did your best to get it in, and you did it. And you guys, I'm just proud of all of you. I'm so excited to have you a part of our family. We're going to start off first off with the Elite Squad. And the Elite Squad and manager Rick Fava. I love that name, by the way, Fava.
No, right.
Rick, thanks for having everybody come to your house and do this and be a part of the show. Tell us what it was like to kind of be involved with Florida East Coast Travel this year with your boys and your team and the schedule you guys took on and all the great things you guys did all during the season, I should say.
Hi, Phil. Thank you for having us, obviously. Extremely excited to have the team here. Missing one of our coaches and one of our boys, but we're thinking of him, and he's definitely watching the podcast right now. So what did the league mean to us? It means a lot, being able to play local teams, I think for the first time, and we're grateful for you, for putting this together for us, and for the other teams, obviously in the different age groups. But I think it's for the first time that we really had a really good set of competition with all the teams that we played. North, South, we played a lot of different teams that we wouldn't have played regularly in a regular league or, in friendly matches that we've had opportunities to play in the past. So the league really allowed us to expand a little bit of our game with different teams, different talent, and really see what baseball at this age group is like. We obviously played it in a way that made us very successful. A good group of kids, a great group of families and parents, which we're very grateful for, and an amazing coaching staff. I don't think we could have done it without every single one of the coaches on this team, the talent that they bring individually, and how we came together to coach these kids with different sets of information that we give them every single day. And a great group of kids that really want to play the game. Every single day, every single time we went out to practice, and every single game, they gave it their all, and we were able to come out champions of the North Division, and then we were able to, take the whole thing, which was really, really nice.
That's awesome. And I see you got that trophy there.
We
Congratulations on winning that. That thing is mint.
Sweet.
Look at that trophy.
This is great, Phil. This is awesome. It really is. The kids are really excited about it. What we're actually planning on doing with this next year is every single game we're going to be playing for the league, we'll be bringing this to the dugout, and the MVP of that game will take this home for a week. So we'll be excited to give that around to give some extra motivation to these.
I want to do a lineup real quick. Where's Jonah at? We got Jonah, we got Luca, we got Tate, we got Jackson, we got Rocco, we got Brant, we got EJ, Ryder, Beckett, Sean, Crosby, and Maverick. Where are you guys at? Show off those rings, guys. Let me see them.
So really fun fact, really fast.
Oh, wow. I like fun facts.
So there's a young man that you named Ryder.
Yeah.
Pompili. I actually coached him in coach pitch at East Boynton.
Oh, really?
Jackson's first year. Where is he at in there? I can't see him that far away. Stand up, Ryder. Where you at?
There's Ryder. There you go.
Buddy.
What's up, buddy?
So how'd you like the league, man? Did you have fun?
Fun.
Fun. All right, so I'm going to ask all of you guys. Do you guys all have a memorable moment that you remember in these games or what? Yes or no?
Yes.
Which one? Who said that?
When I got 3 walk-offs in a row.
3 walk-offs?
Walk-offs in a row.
Man, that's some good stuff.
I need to get the Braves on the phone and have you signed immediately.
I was gonna say we got an agent in the house. I want to sign that. Let's also bring on. Can we do a 3-screen, Mike? Is that possible? Yep, there they are.
Boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Florida Prodigy, the South Division champs, and the league champion finalists. Great job. Coach Andy Perez, a very, very good friend of mine so far up to this point. He loves me. I know he does. We've had many conversations. I just met Andy this year, but I feel like all these guys are like my best friends now because I get to talk to them. I get to learn their coaching styles and see how they are with their kids. And truthfully, again, Rick and Andy and all the coaches are just, they're putting in the time. They're doing everything that's important for kids. And that, to me, that's important. So Andy, thank you very much for bringing your kids on. I know you had some bad traffic coming into tonight, but what else is new down in down in Miami? Some traffic. It took me 2 hours to get to their game one night to go watch them, and literally, but it was worth every second of it because I got to see them win the division title. What a game! The fans were electric. Everybody was having fun. Andy, go ahead. Tell us a little bit about your experience with the league this year.
Yeah, we couldn't be happier. We started actually Flow Pro a year ago Sunday, and myself with a few of the coaches and the parents decided that we wanted to do whatever it took to find the most difficult competition. It didn't matter where it took us. So the opportunity of the Florida East Coast Travel League came up. And we took the bull by the horns 100%. I'm very proud in these kids, first of all, and their development, the way they've improved as baseball players, but most importantly as brothers. Really, we call ourselves, or I proudly call ourselves the Road Warriors, because we did a whole lot of traveling this season for our 28 games. So I'm very proud at the resolve of these kids. We went out there and like I said in the beginning, we were looking for the toughest competition, and we found it. So we battled through a lot of adversity, came away with the South Division title against some elite competition, and then we
Love it.
found
He said
ourselves
Lidl.
with Rick and his crew, and we battled it out there. But I'm very proud of how we did. Rick, congratulations! Like I told you over the phone, and that night, you guys are a great team, a great organization, and we're very happy to be here.
Yeah, no, look, I got a chance to go down there again and watch these guys. And I seen Rick's team play too during our Stand Up to Cancer tournament. And I also got to see the Florida Prodigy. But when it came down to playoffs, man, I couldn't believe how electric these fans get.
Yeah.
Like the pots and the pans. And I mean, it was just unreal. Like, it was the noisemakers, how excited they were. How involved they were in the game. I've been to some major league games or minor league games to watch this guy, and the fans aren't even that loud. It's like it's unreal. I want to do a lineup call. Here we go. The entire Florida Prodigy 8U team for the 2023 Fall Season Division Champs League finalists. We got Hunter, we got Jaden, we got Maximo, we got Ryan, we got Dylan, we got Alexandra, we got Matthew, we got Anthony, we got Joseph, Liam, and Dylan. Guys, make some noise over there. Show your rings off. Well, look, both teams, again, you guys showed what playing baseball is all about. You're showing it right now. I mean, it's a Thursday night. The team's over at the house. I hope the coaches ordered some pizza. If you haven't, put it on Jeff's tab. You can run Jeff's credit card right now and put it on Jeff's tab. He's going to have pizza delivered to the house in Cutler Bay and in Palm Beach County. And but again, coaches, we want to thank you guys. We want to say how proud we are of you. I want let's pick one kid from each team. I'll let the coaches do it. Hold up the trophy, hold up the rings, show the pride, show your banners, do everything you can. I want to hear you guys loud. We got, how many followers are watching us right now? We got 27. I want another 50 people to come up there. Look at that. Look at that. Which guy is that? Who is that, coach?
That's Hunter Bo Perez.
Hunter Perez. All right, now let's go. Hunter, thank you very much. Look at that ring. Look at that bling, dude. That thing is shiny. And now who's this from the elite squad? Maverick. Hold up that trophy. Don't drop it. And keep that. All right, guys. Coaches have ordered you pizza. It's on the way, courtesy of Jeff. And we will see you on the diamond next year for the spring. You guys are playing spring, right? We're going to see you in the spring season 2024.
Yes, yeah, we're signed up already.
All right.
Yeah!
Get your discount. Guys, thank you very much. Merry Christmas to both teams. Happy holidays. Florida Prodigy, Elite Squad, great job.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Fired
Right?
up, dude.
So now we got to ask my kids. First off, you got to play a little bit. What did you think of the league? Let's scoot you back so you can talk into the microphone. What'd you think of it? Watching your brother play all the time.
When he was playing, I thought I was like, oh, I should play another one. But I didn't, because I wanted to play football, because I had to play both at the same time. It was hard because every time when we had the same thing, it would be baseball and football. They're connected because we had to go to the Westport into the same field because they're connected together.
With the fields, right?
And we would have to hurry up. And my mom's like, hurry up. And I'm like, oh my God.
I was gonna say you need to make sure you keep it clean on the show.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say. I mean,
I know how your mother talks.
Potty mouth. All right, Dylan, you tell us. You got to play in the Stand Up to Cancer tournament, and you got to play with your team. And what did you think of the league?
It was just fun for all of us, to be honest. Yeah. For me, especially, it was just fun playing with my friends, and the competition, especially, it was just how do you express it? It was amazing.
Awesome.
Just like playing with my friends that I call friends now, and it was just inspiring because you made this for kids and my friends, and it's fun to play in it.
Thanks, bud. That wasn't preempted. I promise you that.
You're
Now
gonna
he's
start
gonna.
crying,
I was
are
gonna
you?
cry.
You are
I'm gonna cry.
Such a softie.
No, man. But that again, man. This is the stuff. Look, you know, everybody says they live vicariously through their kids. I'm living vicariously not because I want them to play in the pros, because I want them to enjoy their friends and all the things that Jeff and I. We keep saying this on episode 3. Enjoyed as kids, playing with our friends, enjoying the experience, making it beneficial for them, seeing the smiles on these kids' faces. I mean, we just had 2 teams that got together on a Thursday night, busy night. It's the holidays, school's going on, all this stuff, and everybody's getting ready, preparing. You know how the holidays are, man. Everybody's moving around like crazy. These coaches took the time out of their day to come on the show, bring their kids, bring the trophies, bring the rings, and then set up an entire party for them on a Thursday night.
It was just nice to see what Rick and Andy look like since I spoke to them for like 3 weeks straight. So it was kind of nice to put a face to the voice.
Rick and Andy are cool dudes. Like,
Yeah,
again,
good
man,
people, man.
I like the AU's. I'm not gonna lie, AU's crazy. And Nick Baczynski, our rules director for the league, will tell you they're crazy.
Yeah.
They're competitive but crazy at the same time. They're loud, they're boisterous, they're outgoing, but they take it seriously. And it's AU baseball, which always kind of baffled me a little bit. But
how else are you going to learn to be competitive if you don't start young?
I agree. I think there's a place for it, and I think where I was loving it was the playoffs and then the tournament.
Oh yeah.
You know what? It's a Tuesday night, man. Let's keep it down. You know, let's enjoy the game. You know, I got a headache from work. You know what I mean? And this guy's calling me 100 times. He needs 8 Air Jordans and bats and everything else, and then I got to hear some pennies in the jar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, it just I couldn't get over how energetic the fans are and how much the parents get involved with this, and it's cool. It's refreshing. But I think what was more refreshing is how much they enjoyed the league. And to me, like Dylan said, and like Dominic said, it was fun to be with their friends. It was fun to play, but I'm sure it was also fun for these kids to watch their parents get so involved and root them on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, as a parent, I mean, my kid played in it. You know, it's fun, but it's hard, believe it or not. You know, because it's one of those, as a parent, you're on the almost like on the outside looking in.
Yep.
And you know, we didn't have this when we were young.
No.
So we didn't have travel ball.
No.
And it was one of those things where like I'm yelling and trying to get involved, and then I'm thinking, why am I being a real jerk right now? Because these kids are like 9 and 10 years old. Like I'm telling these kids, why are you missing your side? Run, run! Like I'm like, should I just let the coaches handle that and not me? But I don't know. It again, I think it's fun for the kids, but I think it teaches them that this is a game, but you have a job to do. So, you know, my famous line I stole from Bill Belichick years ago when I coached football and coached baseball is 3 words: do your job. And that's it. And I think they need to learn that at a young age, so they know that when they go on to his age, up to his age, those 3 words apply the whole time. It never changes. So I was glad the league handled it that way, and I was glad that the teams handled it that way, which makes it right for them. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Teaches them the right way.
You know, the one thing I was always taught is the second you step out of the line, it's time to go to work.
Oh, 100%.
That was it. You got to the field, you get over that line, it's time to go to work.
Agreed.
And truthfully, you know, Dylan just turned 12 and now one more season here. He's going to go to Cooperstown this year. But then next he's on the 60-90 field, man. It goes fast. So here's my message for the last part of our show. Enjoy every minute of it, parents. Enjoy, because as you know, as parents, it goes fast. They're this size and then they're that size, which he's taller than I am. And he's only 12. So, but the time goes by fast. The time speeds up. And if you don't stop for a minute, you'll miss it. Good movie line. You know, but seriously, it's a time in your lives where you have to enjoy it, because it goes by like that. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they stop playing if they're not interested anymore when they get to a certain age. And if you missed all that time from 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and then the statistics of a kid going from 50-70 to 60-90 is not good.
Yeah.
It lessens because the kids
They
get
drop off
out
very
of
quick.
interest of the game.
Yeah.
It's a big field. It's big boy time.
Yeah.
You got a lot of ground to cover, 350s, 400-foot fences and gaps that can kill you
Mhm.
running in between them unless you got some speed like him. So, it's enjoy the moment. Enjoy everything about what the childhood allows you to do. Let's stop making it all about, winning. Let's make it about the experience. Let's make it about each level, enjoying each time, because you don't know when that's going to stop.
Agreed.
That's my going out message, other than we'll see you on the Diamond next time for Jeff and I and the Diamond Deals podcast. We appreciate everybody coming on. We appreciate John. We appreciate Deshaun. We appreciate my kids. We appreciate Florida Prodigy, and we appreciate Elite Squad, and we appreciate all of you. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the Diamond next time.